Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, we've been muted the whole time. I'm sorry.
Wow. Well,
Well, thank y'all for hanging around anyway.
absolutely.
Mm, no worries. I'll make sure you guys get the beginning of the video when we're done. Don't worry.
Yeah. We're just
Yeah. Mhm.
okay. So moving right along, right? It's always a distraction, so we learn how to move through them.
Mhm.
Sorry to those of you who just joined on the network over here. We were muted, right, and we didn't even see it.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Uh, don't neglect the negative aspects of yourself, or they will lay dormant in you, gain strength as to overwhelm you. All right. Now, that's kind of like real relative to us all, where you ignore the negative aspects of you that's building up in you, and you try to hide them, or you might try to pretend that they're not
Mhm.
there anymore, or you might get around people and get the pump faking a lot, like we all do. I've done it before. Like I've been around people and I tried to fit in, so I had to, I had to be a certain type of way to fit in. I had to be a certain type of way to fit in. So sometimes when I negated, I neglected to look at my whole self. Those things they overwhelm me.
That's real.
They creep up on you, right?
Mhm.
Who you truly are.
It comes out. It seeps out.
It
Anyway.
comes out. All the aspects of you. Negative. You know how you sometimes you don't like somebody, and you try to pretend like you like them, but eventually
It seeps out.
you like, you know what I'm saying? You can't really hold back that, right? Because it's a negative aspect of yourself. And that's not saying it's not there, it's going to be there. But Spirit is saying acknowledge it, right? And find a way to deal with it so that it don't overwhelm you.
Mhm.
I haven't met one person that don't got certain negative aspects about themselves, right? That's everybody.
Yeah. We all do.
And when people pretend like they don't have negative aspects,
That's a
I
problem.
get away from them.
Right. If you can't see the flaws in yourself, you still have a lot of work to do. And that's coming from someone who, I couldn't see him in myself for a long time. So I'm telling you, there's a lot of work to do. And until you can let go of that kind of energy, you won't be able to grow, because I wasn't able to grow until I was able to like really see myself, in those dark places. You know how we can see things in other people, right? You could be like, I see you, but you can't see yourself. You won't win like that. You have to be, willing to look at yourself so deeply that sometimes you can't even see other people's flaws.
No doubt. No doubt. And that's real. When you really about your spirituality, right? Your ranking, your authority, your walk, your relationship, you will find that you don't even got the energy to focus on nobody else.
Mm-mm. Of course, you want to help people and things like that, but like to be worrying about people's status and what decisions people are making with their life and things like, you won't be worried about those kind of things because you'll be so focused on your own journey. You won't have time to worry about foolish things like that. Unless you're helping or guiding a person in life, something like that, right? But other than that, I feel like when you're on your journey, you should be so busy with yourself that and your family and your growth, that you really shouldn't be able to focus on negativity.
That's real. I mean, about yourself, you want to know the negativity about
Mhm.
you, right?
100%.
Like I said, so that it doesn't overwhelm you, right? Just learn how to be real with yourself,
Mhm.
right? Learn sometime go somewhere and talk to yourself and be like, self, you know damn well you don't like this thing, or self, you know damn well you tripping right
Mhm.
now, right? So begin to talk to yourself so that you can begin to call them negative aspects out and put some authority on them, not let them run wild in your energy, right? Because that's why wearing the mask takes so much energy.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, number two, never allow spells or spiritual tools and accessories to become the governing systems of your belief In doing so, you surrender your own authority to them. So basically, here we are again. Spirit saying, never allow spells and rituals and tools and accessories to become the governing systems of your belief. What do you want your faith to be in all of that stuff for? Right? That stuff is meant to be
Idolatry.
used like,
That's an idolatry.
Yeah, idolatry. That stuff is meant to be used to assist you on your spiritual journey, right? All things are lawful. That's what the Bible says. All things are lawful, right? But when you go to putting your belief in things and now you let them take the place of your higher power or what God will be to you. Once you do that, now you giving over, you surrender to these things. It's like if I believe that all my power lies in this magnolia seed, right? Let's just say I take this magnolia seed, right? Which means purity, right? Nobility, eternal life. That's what this seed means, right? So what if I say, okay, I'm gonna put my faith in this magnolia seed, right? This is now my faith system of belief.
The ant, perseverance.
So what happens when this doesn't work anymore? What happens when my faith in that doesn't work any longer? Because that wasn't meant to be held up to that esteem. Don't put your faith in tools and things. Like, keep your faith in something that's higher than all of that, right? As to not surrender yourself down to it.
Remember, this is for perseverance too. You
Oh
see
yeah,
that big old ant?
the ant, the little army ant that ran on our moon deck card. The ant represents perseverance.
He just ran across the table.
He just ran across the table, and the magnolia seed bud represents perseverance.
Yep. So that's the word.
Perseverance. Okay. Place no one above God, even ancestral deities. Remember, a spiritual journey is consistent of many spiritual powers. Discern what is above you. Give honor where honor is due. Place no one thing above the Most High. Right? So, that's your help right there. Place no one above God, even ancestral deities, right? You shouldn't have nothing above what you consider to be God in your life. You shouldn't build a relationship with things that take you away from what you know God to be, whatever that may be for you. Many had people, because I find a lot of people nowadays being tested in that area. Are you going to go link up and build relationships over top of God, or are you going to put God above all your relationships, right? Even with your ancestors. Because some people, they think that when the ancestors start speaking to them, that it means you should forsake God. And, well, I mean, everybody has their own choice. What we teach over here is to put nothing above God. I believe when you do so, you answer for it later. Me personally, I just believe that, right? I've never placed anything above God. But I've seen people who do, and I believe that it results in something you have to answer for later. So, and like I remember, a spiritual journey is consistent of many spiritual powers. Discern what is above you. So that means you're going to have good and bad on your spiritual journey. Discern what's above you. When you run into somebody and you know they got this a powerful energy over top of them, and you can't really discern what it is above you, turn away from it. Don't be intrigued into a position where now you unprotected. Because the devil is good at trying to lure you in. When you run into some people and they got this evil on them, Get away from them. Not meant for you to be there. It's above you. You can lose a lot, even your soul, in those type of exchanges, because things are in place for the purpose of the Most High. So in some areas, evil people are allowed to have authority. So you can't go rush out and be trying to just fight everybody and everything, right? All right. Discern what is above you. Give honor where honor is due. The Bible even says that. Give honor where honor is due. And this is in relation to your ancestors, right? It's about time that you honor them and understand that it's in the plan that you honor them. That's the plan. That was the plan. Somewhere along the line, we got off track. But the plan was to always honor your ancestors, right? Give honor where honor is due. And then place no one thing above the Most High. What's in your crown chakra? Okay. Last one. And then we're going to move on into some cards. Respect for other humans and the powers that surround them causes less disturbance in the spirit and keeps you from having conflict with other spiritual forces surrounding other spiritual people. Surrounding other people, I'm sorry. So, respect for other humans and the powers that surround them, it causes less disturbance in the spirit and keeps you from having conflict with other spiritual forces that surround other people. So I've heard it said since I started this missive that you don't know who walking with who, right? Mm-hmm. I heard that early on, right? You never know who's walking with who. I found that to be true. Mm-hmm. So because you never know who walking with who, it's wise to show respect for other humans and the powers that surround them. Disrespect. It causes less disturbance because God forbid you look at somebody and you size them up in your own mind like we do and you tell yourself, oh, this person ain't really nobody. I can do something to them. And then you find out it's not the case. Mm-hmm. They got something rolling with them that just can't be moved that easily, right? Then it causes a disturbance. Those type of disturbances, they spill over on innocent people. Bloodline, family members, children, old people, especially old people. You know, a lot of old people suffer from magic that comes in the family by way of younger people. That was a download I had too. What do you do when your house becomes magical? What do you do when your kids become spiritual? You know, over top of what you know and what you see. What happens when they meet this untoward world and they become spiritual? Then what do you do, right? So having a general respect for people and things and humans is going to give you the leverage and it's going to give you the authority that you need, because you're going to be protected. As long as you stay in your lane where you're supposed to be, you're going to have protection. Mm-hmm. But if you get to moving out of your lane and you disrespectful, and you cause disturbances in the spirit realm, and you just never know. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's not good to assume things about people, because you know what they say, what they used to say again.
Make an ass out of yourself.
You gonna F around and find out. Mm-hmm. I used to hear some of the readers be saying that. I used to be laughing when they said it, right? You gonna F around and find out. But I find it to be real because I see it happening to people all over the world. They chose to target people that they did not understand from the jump street. And because they did not understand them, they thought that it was cool to just do any old thing to these people. Mm-hmm. And now you see it, the horrible thing coming back down the pipe, right?
That's real.
I see it happening.
You dismiss somebody for nothing, you know. and then God have to show you that they everything.
Word.
Mm,
You know, like it's
that's real.
even me. Like I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna be honest, right? Cause I'm trying to be humble in my way of spirit as much
Mhm.
as possible. I know I might come off a little rough around the edges, but that's just culturally. That's where I'm from. You know, I'm gonna be that way. But about spirit, I come real humble. And with me, it's been some people even on these networks right now that's connected that when I saw them, I was like, what? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But spirit soon let me know, hold up,
Mhm.
look a little deeper. And then I said, oh,
Mhm.
this person right here, they big, they super big in the spirit.
Right.
But you wouldn't know it if you go off your own understanding, off your
Mhm.
own discernment.
Yep.
That's how people set up like that.
That's so real. You gotta use your spiritual eyes when you're talking to people, when you're meeting people.
People set up like that, y'all. Like they have some people have ancestors and different spiritual forces that bait people in. They are very vengeful, right? They'll let the person seem subtle and weak
Mhm.
until you step in their auric field the wrong way, and then they just bring havoc because
Mhm.
why? That's the plan.
Chaos.
That's the plan the whole
Disaster.
time. There's some people got them kind of spirits. They love it. Like
Walking karma.
that's
You
what you
know.
call them.
Walking karma. That's
Walking
exactly what
karma
it is.
energies, right? Not bad people at
No, not
all.
bad people, but like the people that people play with, and then when you have to f around and find out.
And then it be a all the mysterious person
Right.
that walk the earth and a bunch of people in their life that got misfortune.
Right. Game over.
You know what I'm saying? A bunch of people with misfortune because they chose to do something to this one individual.
What you say? Play silly
Play
games.
silly game, win stupid prize, right? So it's like that kind of energy, like, you know? So if we move as a wise collective and we just respect people,
Yeah.
like me, like I said, y'all, I'm from a place where seeing apparent weakness, I can spot it. And others like,
Me too.
man, that ain't about nothing. But
So
I'm
yeah,
learning
you have to
now.
be humble.
I'm learning now that the way I was taught and trained, right?
That's so real.
It's not
Oh my gosh, that's so
the
real.
way I was taught and I was trained to perceive power on this earth is completely has nothing to do with the
Nothing.
way spiritual power shows up. So I
Right.
learned. When I see people now and that old arrogant side of me kicking, and I be like, man, this person can't be about nothing. I learned now to stay, hold up though. And I let my spirit kick in, right? And my spirit
up.
let me know
Wait.
I can tell you what most people's spirit is like because I rely on my spiritual true discernment now with people.
You truly have to try the spirit by the spirit, and
There you go.
that's for real. Like you really have to,
So what does that mean?
because
Time out.
you'll be fooled.
What does that mean? Listen to what the Bible is saying. Try the spirit by the spirit. So what is that saying? When you come into contact with people, you need to reach for spirit to see their spirit. You can't see it if you perceive them in your
Right.
natural.
That's why we
You can't
have
try their spirit unless you reach for spirit. You gotta
Right.
try their spirit
by the spirit.
by the spirit.
That's why when we're in our lower nature and we connect with people, in our sacral chakra energy, that's low vibrational, right? When we connect with people in that kind of energy, you'll notice that the relationships are low vibrational relationships, right? But when
Yeah.
we connect with people in our crown chakra energy, you'll notice that they're high vibrational relationships.
From your anahata
Right.
on up. Yup. Like she say, if you establish connections from your heart space upward, a lot of times strong and positive connections. But when you go downward,
Right. When you're using your natural eyes, is typically like your sacral energy.
your lower chakra,
Because
yeah.
what does it do? It arouses you. We look at things. Our natural eyes fool us and shows us things that we believe we like. Because a lot of the things that our natural eyes look at, we don't even really like them. To be honest with you, our soul does not resonate with the things that our eyes see. I know, might sound crazy. But it's the truth. You know, your soul wants something so much different than your flesh. So,
Yeah.
you know, you have to remember that your eyes are a part. These eyes are a part of the flesh. You know, and life is of the spirit. So, you know, your soul, your spirit is gonna want different things than your natural self. You know, you're like your physical avatar is gonna want. Your eyes are gonna play tricks on you.
You know how I know that to be true? Because when I look at a strawberry shortcake,
I was gonna say, think
like,
about overeating,
when
right?
I look at a strawberry shortcake, right, I get the feeling that's like one of my favorite desserts. So I be like, mm. But when I look at a holy scripture or a book, right, a different side of me is my soul is awakened. Like, but it feels similar. If you really, it really feels a lot. It feels similar, right? But sometimes people they don't feed their spirit enough to really know what I'm saying, right? But yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Wow. In some instances, we meet souls that are protected by the same energy as us, and the matter of offense could result in one being attacked by the same force that's protecting them, right? And that's so real. So this download is speaking about we coming into contact with people and they have the same ancestors that you have. They are protected by the same energy that you protected by. But to you, they seem weak or off or chaotic or beneath with your standard, right? But remember, this is your perception. Because in reality, these people have the same ancestors you have. They have the same protection you have. They have everything that you have, right? Maybe even better. So, what happens when you offend this person, right? What happens when you offend a person like that is you find yourself getting attacked by the same forces that protect you. And then you like, what's going on? It's the person that you're attacking. They're protected by the same thing as you. So if you attack them, you attack you. A lot of people going through that right now, right? Just because you let this perception get in the way. You thought you knew what your ancestors looked like, but you don't. Because that person right there, they protected by your ancestors.
That's why evil loves division, right? Evil loves division. Evil will try to separate us by color, by race, by different things, when the whole time, you know, you don't know who all your ancestors are.
You don't know, man, let me explain something to you.
Who's protecting you?
I found out that my ancestors are the Druids, right? They off the coast of Ireland, the Celtic tribal people, right? You never know truly what all your ancestors look like, because it's a soulless thing, right? That's why the spirit is saying respect people. Let's stop assuming about people. That's what's getting a lot of us in trouble. I don't care what you think you perceive about a person. Your perception, you don't know who walking with who. Do you really get that? Like, what? I want to put it in layman's terms. Let's say I'm a spirit, right? And I'm walking with Lala, and I'm a spirit, but I don't want to be detected. So I'm gonna stand behind Lala, and I'm gonna let her go. My energy is not even gonna be protected because I'm in a spirit. I'm a spirit. I know how to hide it. You understand? Spirits know how to cloak themselves in the spirit realm. So when a reader go in the spirit realm, this spirit right here is cloaked because they already know people gonna be looking for them. So they in the spirit realm, they cloak. They find a way to remain unseen, right? Some energies got that ability naturally. One being Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael can just cloak himself. A reader look in and don't know what's going on. Can't see him or nothing like that, right? So, now you come into this person energy and that hidden spirit now come alive, right? And now when it comes alive, you met with a force. Now, the dilemma is, what if it's the same force that's protecting you? How does that go to court? If you in the wrong, guess what happens? Judgment gonna favor the person you attacking. So what used to protect you is gonna now attack you. Why? Because you brought it on yourself, right? And I don't feel like this is resonating with the collective, but
No.
this could be happening in your energy to
Right.
somebody, and I could be definitely speaking to them. Or it could be a few of y'all in here that I'm talking to as well. The reason why these things happen is because you can't attack somebody that's protected by the same thing as you. You forcing what protects you to bring judgment on you. That person didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Because
saying?
the curse only work if they deserve it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So let's respect. Yo, if you respect, if you get respect for people, it go a long way in this. As above, so below. Respect for people. Even when you see somebody dark and they real beat down by darkness, right? Just learn how to respect that person for still standing, and you move to the right or you move to the left. That person not about your purpose. Lesson they land on your doorstep. Then it becomes about you. But respect people, right? Don't perceive people and take liberties. You know, oh, I don't like this person and how they is, so I'm gonna go in the dark and I'm gonna strike up a conversation about them. Whole time you being watched.
That's, especially like the people too. You have people that like to use people, or you know what I'm saying. Like you have people that just want to dog people out. Like you can't just be going around thinking you just dogging people out, because really you're dogging yourself. A lot of those people have very powerful forces with them. Kind-hearted people. People like you can't do that. People don't understand. That's why a lot of people that have done things to you guys have been attacked so hard. The attacks have been very bad because you can't go around bullying people.
Right.
You can't go around thinking that because you look a certain way you can treat somebody that doesn't look a certain way. Because
Hello.
people do things like that.
Hello.
I watched people, get into relationships with people they felt like didn't look as good as them, and they tried to use them for everything they had. And then, those looks go away after that relationship. Why? Because you don't play with people that belong to the Most High.
No, not at all. Just like you.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
why, a lot of the collective is watching people. You've seen that, people who have done things to you, it did not go in their favor.
Yeah, and it's
temporarily, right?
And the shame lies on them.
Yeah.
Collective.
Oh yeah.
I don't care what you went through, whatever you had to go through. Don't let one bit of shame cling to you, because the shame is not on you. It doesn't matter how you could have been portrayed as the worst person. You could have been stuffed inside the worst situation, and didn't even ask to be put there. But always remember, for you, it was a lesson. It was for you, it was working for you. What was being done to you was working for you. So it can be nudes, it can be explicit photos that somebody has, it can be information, it can be screenshots, it could be private, it could be things of intimacy that they hold over you, right? As a form of blackmail, spiritually or naturally. And some of these things, they could have made shame rise on you. But today, I'm feeling like Spirit is saying, don't hold on to shame. I don't care what it is. Learn how to be like, and so what? What? It don't matter. Whatever. If you're going to put it out then. Let's get it over with then, right? Because at the end of the day, nothing that anybody has that they try to bond you with or any of that type of stuff, whatever they do with it is going to work against them. So if they put it out, it's not going to work. You know, like I'm honestly hearing, you know what I'm seeing? I'm going to talk about what I'm seeing right now. I'm seeing somebody put somebody's nudes out somewhere, and I'm seeing them fall in a person's hand that has integrity, and they like, oh, this person know that seem like their energy is pretty good. So I'm saying with somebody trying to use to destroy somebody is going to work in their favor, and that's many different scenarios. So don't let none of that, right? Especially shame. Like Spirit says, don't hold on to no shame, right? Move boldly in your energy, right? So what? I'm gonna use this against you.
Right.
All right, so what? Use
That's
it.
so
If you
real.
feel as though that's what you want to do, if you feel as though, because it's a new season.
It was a part of the growth anyway.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of people, you know, nobody really taught you the way to do things. So, you know, of course you did some things that may have put you in some predicaments that you probably wouldn't want to be in normally, but we all do things. We all make mistakes. We all make uncalculated moves in life, and sometimes, you know, people try to hold those things over top of us, but just keep moving on. Oh well, like, I mean, you know, I wouldn't recommend that you keep doing the same thing over and over again, but if you truly made a mistake and, you know, someone, you trusted someone with, you know, some images of you, because I seen someone dancing or something on a video. I don't know, this could be like a video, okay?
Some of y'all cutting up better than that. Somebody
Right.
doing more than dancing. You was cutting up bad on the video.
Right.
But it don't matter, right?
Right, but you know, I feel like it's a part of your growth, honestly. You know, I feel like, you know, it really is. There's some people, like, you weren't even taught how to properly, you know, proper hygiene as a child. You had to learn things. So, you know, kudos to you for continuing to learn. Kudos to you for making mistakes, owning the mistakes, and moving forward. You know, imagine being a person where you weren't taught some of the basic essentials to be a decent human, and you had to learn these things, and you're still learning these things as you grow. And yeah, you're making mistakes during the way, but you know, you truly are becoming better, and God is watching you and assisting you. You know, you have to give yourself some grace, and at some point you do have to be like, well, whatever, do what you do with what you do, you know, and move forward, you know. And you know, the people that come to your life, if they can't accept that you made, you know, mistakes and you have flaws in your past, then maybe they're not the people for you anyway, right? Because who's gonna come clean with a, you know, who's coming with a slate that's 100% clean in anything?
Come on now. You know what I'm saying?
You know, so, you know, and then, you know, a lot of you guys should be so proud of yourself anyway, because guess what? A lot of your business was public, right? See, a lot of people do dirt, but it's quiet. It's in the background. You know, it's sneaking around the corner, going through the back door, hiding in the cars, meeting up over this house so nobody don't, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of the things that you've done, they've been out loud and up front in the public. So everyone tried to make you look like a person, you know, that was just you were just this erratic soul that was just, you know, you do the most, you do too much. Whole time, you know, you got somebody going out the back door, the front door, around the corner, doing all these different things, trying not to be seen. So kudos to you for being an example, right? Living your life out loud, right? There's so many people that want to hide their flaws and mistakes, and it's like, you know, you just been right here, like, all right, this is me, my flaws and my mistakes, I'm trying.
You know, and I feel like as she's talking and the energy is coming from both ways, I feel like a lot of us, right, we were born by parents that were in savage mode. Mm-hmm. So because their mode was savage when we were born, right, kudos to us for becoming even their parents now. Mm-hmm. Because the moves that you making in your life, right, you're removing karma that they established in your bloodline as well. And in turn, even if they living, right, the fact that you spiritually connected, you could really feel like I'm their parent on the low. Like, I know I'm her daughter, but I'm her mother. I know I'm his son, but I'm his father, right? At the same, and that's because it's energy. You are walking in an energy that's more mothering. Let's be real. Some of our parents, they was in savage mode when they had us, and they didn't soon return from that mode after we was born, if they did at all. So what am I saying? Some of our parents, they still in savage mode.
Okay, right? You know, you barely have grandmas on here nowadays. You know, it's not like back in the day where you could take your kids and be like, oh, there won't, you know, and some of you can. So I'm not saying all of you, right? But there's a lot of people like grandma ain't got time. Grandma is on here young and, you know, looking fly and living her life. So, you know, times have changed, you know?
You know, it's I'm feeling like people on their spiritual journey right now, fighting to hold it together. I want you to understand that life is not so easily interrupted or destroyed, right? Every decision that you make is not going to lead you to instant failure or success, right? God is not a force that's here to chastise you about every little thing you don't get right. God is a force that's here to walk with you so that you can find your way home, for real. Like this is what God has always been, that kind of reflection. So in all of your newness, the things you're learning, your weirdness, your brokenness, your wholeness, all of that, right? Just realize all of it's designed for you to get home and not have to come back and be reborn and live life. You know what happens with this cycle of rebirth? Look at our neighborhoods. You see the same person being born over and over again, don't you? Don't you? Let's be real. It's to the point where I grew up where the value of life is little to nothing. Why? Because people sending one another off. And as soon as a brother send another brother off, another soul is being reincarnated into the same old karmic loop until people decide to break it and ascend and go home. Right? That's what's happening. Ancestors calling people home. Eventually, everything has to go home. You feel me? So this continuous cycle of unaliving that we seeing and we witnessing throughout the generations that I'm saying for the past 30 years, I've seen a relentless cycle of unalivings in the urban area. People, it's death and rebirth. Nobody's going home because nobody breaking a cycle of karma, nobody tapping in. So we tapping in now. People go, it's different now, right? So kudos to all of y'all holding it together on your spiritual journey.
Okay.
Maybe it feel like you're doing it for nothing, but I'm telling you, holding down something much bigger than you really can even fathom. This is the reason why it feels like, well, what am I doing this for? Well, maybe I should just go back to what I was doing. Well, maybe I should just be this certain way. Now, if somebody if you were fighting for nothing, why would you feel like that? Ask yourself. Because if I'm fighting for nothing, I'm not going to have those feelings. Because I'm fighting for nothing. When you really fighting for something, even if you don't understand it, you still fighting in your faith. You don't get it. I know you don't. I don't get it. I wake up and be like, man, what the hell is with these people today, spirit? What we doing? But I know it's greater, so I'll be like, all right, I understand.
Yep.
The plan is bigger than me. It's greater than me.
It's greater.
If it wasn't a substance, you wouldn't feel nothing behind it. Right?
That's right.
So let's hold on. I want to get this last download out because I have the magnolia bud here and I got the magnolia seed. This is a sign of renewal. And my last download goes with renewal. The renewal of the mind, body, and spirit. Okay, the renewal of your mind, body, and spirit. It elevates the state of spirit. This is bringing ethereal energy into all aspects of your being. Hence, making particularly your thoughts connected to the supernatural. Okay, so let me break this down low because the way it's coming in, right? I wrote it odd and strange. So it says, the renewal of the mind, body, and spirit. This elevates the state of spirit and brings ethereal energy into all aspects of your being. Hence, making particularly your thoughts connected to the supernatural enhanced. All right? So basically what this saying is, as you renew your mind, body, and spirit, how do you do this? Prayer, being connected, grounding, cleansing, fasting, reading, right? This is how you renew yourself. Remember, we are made of spirit, right? Flesh and spirit. So if I eat every day, I need to get up and eat to feed my flesh. But you got to renew your spirit too. Because if you don't, your spirit man gets weary. So what do? You renew your spirit by way of, you find things to read that spirit wants to digest. You find things to do that resonate with spirit, like grounding in nature, that's spiritual. Spiritual cleanses, that's spiritual, right? Now, get advice before you do a spiritual cleanse, though. Talk to somebody that know about cleansing. We do, so we safe. But other aspects, they bring renewal to the mind and the body, right? Renewal of the body, working out, trying to get a little bit more fit, being a little bit more aware of what you're doing to your body, right? Not saying you're going to be Mr. or Mrs. America out here, but a little bit more awareness, right, to your bodily function. It brings a renewal, right? And, of course, mind, body, and spirit, right? Mental hygiene is important. So, trying to, I found like trying to find better ways to communicate with people that's like good for my mental hygiene. Studying my emotions, right? Being able to go back sometimes when I'm offensive and understand, that's good for me, for the way that I was raised. So I don't know what type of environment you come out of, but mind, body, and spirit, the renewal of them, it brings ethereal energy into all aspects of your being, right? So it makes your thoughts, particularly your thoughts that's connected to the supernatural, it makes them amplify in you, strengthens your connection. So without no work, your connection is not going to be as strong as you think. Without doing spiritual work. Okay. So those were the downloads.
All right. Good energy. Good energy.
Play a little music while you pull some cards.
All right. Let's get a couple little cards out here, y'all. Let's see. What's the message? What's the message? What's the message? Hey, I need help, Lord. My power lies in my peaceful presence, okay? So I feel like right now it's very important to remain in a peaceful presence, right? That means, anything that's causing you any kind of chaos in your mind, anything that's causing you any kind of confusion, anything that's making you feel doubt or worry, you should be removing yourself from those things because your power lies in your peaceful presence. Meaning, you know, you should be at peace right now. Okay? There's really nothing for you to worry about. I feel like, you know, Spirit wants you to know that everything is being taken care of. Okay? Something about that. Okay? And your power is within, you know. You know how I always talk about, you know, we went outside of ourselves for so long looking for things that are in us. So I feel like, you know, just remember, you got the juice is what I'm hearing. Something about that, you know, the drip, the sauce is in you. You know, it's not something that can be wiped off. It's not something that can be poured in. It's not any of that. It's something that was, you know, in your makeup. So let's see. These spirits trying to get me. My life been getting tricky. The world is going crazy. Respect is lost. You must discern the truth or expect to get lost. Ashe. Right? Okay. It says open to the universe. Okay? I am discovering my worth and my abilities. I have confidence in my value and my potential. I reclaim my inner power. Yeah. So, you know, let me finish. I accept and love myself completely. Thus, I am open to the divine light of the universe. So there's something about just really, green could be significant here. The color green could be significant. This could be your favorite color. Okay, green is also associated with your heart chakra. You could be a person falling in love with yourself again. And so I feel like Spirit is really reminding you of your power, you know, the power within you, right? Something about that.
Walls?
Oh, there's something just...
it was a series of...
Yeah, I was like, did a bird just
insects and everything? Just, no, that was an insect.
I just seen something drop somewhere.
It looked like I just seen a green hornet.
I think I seen something too, but yeah, you know, the color green could definitely be significant, okay? Heart chakra, you could be needing to eat some berries, okay? I don't know. You are the power. I got the power. That's what I just heard. Hey, I got the power. Hey, and I mean, this is not on no prideful, egotistic type of thing. This is on someone, you know, just having to remember who they are, right? This is not a person even looking for any kind of power, you know, because we know everybody wants like money, power, and respect. But when I say the power, I mean like the power to get up out of your slumber. You know, I mean like the power to be, you know, feeling better. The power to find happiness, right? To understand that you deserve happiness. So I got the power. That's what I heard. Okay, let's see. Hey, we elemental beings trying to save the people from the pain and misery. And this life is not that hard. We be pulling all these cards while we healing all these scars. And we elemental beings trying to save the people from the pain and misery. They don't understand me. I'm a different kind of being, come from the 5D. Hey, cause it's all about the energy. It says spiritual alignment here, okay? Puts my manifestation into motion. So there's someone, and you know, it's like, because you have been in total alignment, mind, body, and soul, it's like, we manifest and do less stressing. We manifest and do less stressing. We pray to God we get his blessings. And then ching, ching, ching goes the money tree. The blessings flow in so abundantly. Our chakras, they're actually popping. We keep on going, we can't be stopping. Ching, ching, ching goes the money tree. The blessings flow in so abundantly. That's what I'm saying for you guys. Okay? Oh, man.
What happened?
I don't know. We frozen. Maybe it's hot. I don't know. It's okay. Okay? It's all good.
It pick back up.
No, I'm just going to end it.